I buried my mother-in-law in the morning. And by night, my husband told me to leave the house. 25 years of marriage. 1 suitcase. 2 days to disappeared. I didn't scream that I didn't beg. Because after everything I had done for that family, I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't the end of my story. My name is Elena Parker. I'm 46 years old. And before this story goes any further, let me say this. If you've ever loved someone who slowly erased you, if you've ever given your whole life to a family that treated you like a stranger, then this story is for you. Take a deep breath and listen carefully, because sometimes the woman who stays quiet the longest is the one who survives the strongest. I met Ryan Parker when I was 21 years old. He was older than me by 6 years, confident, well-spoken, and deeply devoted to his family. He told me that family was everything to him. At the time, I thought that was a good thing. We married quickly. I believed in love. I believed in building a life together. But even before our honeymoon was over, I noticed something strange. Ryan's mother, Margaret, controlled everything. What we ate, where we went, how long we stayed. And Ryan never disagreed with her. I told myself it was temporary, that once we had our own rhythm, things would change. They didn't. 2 years into our marriage, Margaret had her first stroke. Ryan panicked. His sister Chloe cried. Then went back to her life. And without a conversation, without even asking me, Ryan looked at me and said, "You're good with people. You'll help Mom recover." At first it was just daytime care. Then nights. Then full responsibility. I was working part-time back then. Eventually I quit. Not because I wanted to, but because someone had to be there. And that someone was always me. Years passed. Margaret never fully recovered. Her second stroke took her speech. The third took her mobility. And slowly my life disappeared. I learned how to turn a body every 3 hours so bed sores wouldn't form. I learned how to crush pills and feed them through a tube. I learned how to smile while cleaning another adult's waist. Ryan would say, "I couldn't do what you do." But he never said, "Let me help." Chloe visited on holidays, brought flowers, took pictures, then left. And everyone praised her for showing up. Margaret and I spent long nights together. She would cry from pain, from fear, from guilt. She once grabbed my hand and whispered, "Elena, you're the only one who stayed." She promised me the house. She said, "After everything you've done, this is your home." That I believed her, because I trusted her more than I trusted my own husband by then. Ryan grew distant. He stopped touching me, stopped asking how I was. Every conversation became about logistics, schedules, medications, appointments. I wasn't a wife anymore. I was staff. And still I stayed, because leaving would have meant admitting that love alone isn't enough. The night Margaret died, I held her hand. Ryan wasn't there. And as I listened to her final breath fade away, I had no idea that within hours, the family I had sacrificed everything for would decide I was no longer needed. The funeral ended just after noon. February rain soaked through my black coat, the kind of cold that crawls under your skin and refuses to leave. My hands were still shaking from lowering Margaret's casket into the ground. 10 years. 10 years of caring for her body. And now I had just watched it disappear into the earth. People hugged me. They said things like, "You were like a daughter to her. She was lucky to have you." Ryan stood a few feet away, talking quietly with his sister Chloe. He didn't come to me, didn't take my hand. I told myself he was grieving differently. I was still making excuses for him. When I opened the front door that evening, I immediately knew something was wrong. The house felt occupied, not warm, not familiar. Occupied. My funeral shoes left wet prints on the hardwood floor. The same floor Margaret used to polish every Saturday before her strokes took that ability away. They were all sitting there. Ryan, my son Daniel, Chloe, and a man I had never seen before. A lawyer. Ryan was sitting in Margaret's favorite chair. He had never sat there before. Not once in all the years she was alive. That should have been my first warning. "Elena," Ryan said without standing. "We need to talk." My son didn't look up. Chloe had a folder in her lap. The lawyer sat near the window, hands folded, expression neutral. Like this was just another Tuesday for him. Can I at least take off my coat? I asked. This won't take long, Chloe said. She was still wearing sunglasses. Indoors. I in my dim living room. I took my coat off anyway and hung it on the rack Margaret had bought at an estate sale years ago. I remembered her telling me that story while I was changing her bedpan, trying to distract her from the humiliation. I swallowed hard. Sit down, Ryan said. There was something in his voice I didn't recognize, something cold. I sat on the ottoman, the only seat left, in my own home. Chloe opened the folder. I found Mom's will, she said. It was in her bedroom, in the drawer with her medications. My chest tightened. Margaret and I had talked about her will so many nights. Late. Quiet. After Ryan had gone to bed. After Chloe stopped answering her calls. After Daniel moved out and visited once a month, if we were lucky. She left the house to Ryan, Chloe continued, running her finger down the page. And her savings, which total about $480,000. The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the ottoman. And for you, Elena? Chloe looked up. Those sunglasses reflected my own pale face back at me. She left $5,000 for your service. For my service. 10 years of waking up every 3 hours to turn her so she wouldn't get bed sores. 10 years of pureeing food and feeding her through a tube. 10 years of bathing her, dressing her, managing her medications, driving her to appointments, sitting through chemo, through radiation, through hospice when every breath was a $5,500. That's not possible, I said quietly. Margaret told me. Mom was on a lot of medication, Ryan interrupted. She wasn't always clear. She was clear, I said. She told me the house would be mine. She said it was only fair. There's nothing about you in the will except the $5,000, Chloe said, tapping the paper. It's all here. Black and white. The lawyer cleared his throat. Mrs. Parker, my name is Brian Patterson. I've been asked to witness this reading and inform you that you have 48 hours to vacate the premises. 48 hours? I whispered. I looked at my son. Daniel. He stared at his hands. Dad says, this is what Grandma wanted. Your father didn't visit her for 6 months before she died. I didn't plan to say it out loud. Just escaped. Neither did your aunt. Where were you all when she cried at 3 in the morning because the pain was unbearable? Where were you when she couldn't remember her own name? Elena, Ryan snapped. Standing up. He looked taller than I remembered. Or maybe I had gotten smaller. This is what my mother wanted, he said. You'll get your $5,000. Daniel is staying with us. You need to pack your things and leave. Us. He said us. Like they were a family now. And I was something temporary they were removing. You have 48 hours, the lawyer repeated. After that, we'll be forced to file for eviction. I stood up slowly. My legs felt like water, but I refused to let them see me fall. I understand, I said. They all looked surprised. Maybe they expected screaming. Tears begging. But 10 years of nursing teaches you something important. You don't fight every battle the moment it appears. Sometimes you wait. You assess, you plan. I walked upstairs. To the bedroom Ryan and I had shared for over 2 decades. The room where I had laid awake listening for Margaret's breathing through the baby monitor. Ready to run if she needed me. I pulled my suitcase from the closet. And I began to pack. That night I slept on a couch that wasn't mine. The room smelled like someone else's laundry detergent, and the ceiling fan clicked with every turn. I stared at the dark, holding my phone in my hand, waiting for a message that never came. Ryan didn't ask where I was staying. My son didn't call. And in that silence, something inside me finally broke. But what broke wasn't my spirit. It was my loyalty. The next morning I woke up early. Years of caregiving had trained my body to rise before the sun. For the first time in over a decade, I didn't have medications to measure, appointments to schedule, a life to manage that wasn't my own. I made coffee and sat in the quiet. And that's when it hit me. Caregivers don't just remember moments. We document them. In a folder I'd carried for years out of habit were medical records, handwritten notes, voice messages. Margaret's voice soft, shaking, telling me the house was meant to be mine. Text messages where she asked me to promise I'd never let Ryan put her in a facility. I listened to them again and again, and for the first time since her death, I smiled. Oh, I had taken my home but not my mind. 2 days later, before the 48 hours were up, I sat across from a lawyer who actually looked at me. He didn't rush me. He didn't interrupt. When I finished, he leaned back and said, "This isn't just emotional. This is legal." The will, he explained, had been revised under questionable circumstances. Witnesses missing. Dates unclear. Medical capacity debatable. And suddenly the ground shifted. For them, court isn't loud like television. It's quiet, sharp, unforgiving. Ryan avoided my eyes. Chloe looked furious, not scared. Daniel sat between us, torn in half. The recordings played. Margaret's voice filled the room. And something remarkable happened. The truth became louder than the lies. The house was awarded back into dispute. Money frozen. Apologies too late. Ryan wanted to talk. I didn't. I didn't want the house anymore. I didn't want to live where love had been used as leverage. I wanted something better. Freedom. I met Daniel for coffee weeks later. He cried. I listened. But I didn't carry his guilt anymore. Some lessons are learned too late. Today I live in a small apartment. It's quiet. Clean mine. I sleep through the night. And for the first time in years, I wake up without fear. If you're listening to this and thinking, I stay because I'm needed, let me tell you something gently. You are allowed to choose yourself. Love should never cost you your dignity. And silence is not weakness. It's preparation. If this story touched you, if it made you feel seen, please subscribe to this channel. Because stories like this are more than entertainment. They're reminders. And someone out there needs to hear this, just like you did today.